Hello everyone. Today I'll be picking up CSS. Before we head into some mini projects with HTML, I want to show you what CSS is. And yeah, I want to give you an overview of CSS before we head into some mini projects done by HTML and CSS because it's necessary for you to understand CSS. If you don't, then you will be missing a lot of points and you wouldn't know, and it would be hurtful to grasp the entire thing. So let's get started. So now I'm heading over to my VS Code file. Over here I've already selected the folder as CSS overview. So first of all, I'm gonna make an HTML file, that is, and I'm gonna name it overview.html. And I'm gonna open another file that is named CSS. So let's just say style.css. Now I'm gonna go over to HTML and type it in the basics. And over here I'm gonna link the CSS. And since okay, before I know I'm gonna be linking. Okay, before that I want okay, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later uh, how what is CSS and what I've done right now. I'll tell you about that a bit later or in the next video of CSS. But for now, we'll stick to this. Okay, so um let's do something for that. Okay, no. Okay, so for this is my HTML. This is my HTML whole document. This is my HTML document. So over here, I'm just gonna type in a few HTML stuff like paragraph tags, yeah, Lawrence stuff, and then the div tag, and inside the div tag, I will write something, I guess. Over here is another paragraph tag. Hmm. So inside the div, let's put something over here. What should I put here? Okay, let's put a new tag over here and allies, allies. Okay, so over here inside this div UL, I'm gonna place over here. Now in the previous HTML videos, I already told you that these are tags and elements. Divs are blocks. Over here we all have block level elements. There are no inline level elements. Divs are block level elements, and paragraph tags are also block level elements. We don't have to worry about all that now. So let's put that aside, and over here I'm gonna go and type out what you will type out a few things in the list. Let's say Dhaka, Mumbai, Washington DC. Yeah. And now let's view them. Let's view these files. I need to find out where to save them. Okay, so this is where I saved them. Now let's style them a bit. Now what is CSS? The full form of CSS is Cascading Style Sheet, or in other words, it's where in English we type out the style of a web page. We style how texts are gonna look, where they're gonna go. Okay, let's come back here. Now that text, we style how these texts are gonna look, where they're gonna go, how they're gonna be placed, what font they could be. The same goes with images and videos. Now I don't have an image at the moment, but I'm gonna also put an image over here. Image, source, alt. Hmm. Okay, let's download an image for that. Yeah. The name of the image is one.jpg. Now the source over here, inside the source, you type out the file, the source file, and let's view it now after I save it. Yeah, there you go. You have an image, but it's extra large. We don't want that. We don't want the image to be extra large, so we can do that with styling by styling it like in style CSS. Now let me also type out style CSS for you. So first of all, this how does CSS work? It's okay now. For that. Now I'm not going to tell you exactly what I'm doing over here, but I want to show you what CSS actually does. It actually styles the contents of your web page. By contents, I mean over here in my web page, I can see text, I can see a list, I can see dots, and I can see an image. There could also be a video, but I don't want to work with videos right now. There could be animations, but these animations, videos, and all these are these animations, right? What happens is that these contents are get they get themselves styled out. These contents get themselves styled out by using CSS, and they also get positioned where they actually have to be and where they can be placed. So that's what CSS really does. What they do is that they place different contents and make them look different, and that's how CSS works. So that's the thing about CSS. It says in its name, it's cascading style sheet. I don't know what cascading really means. Okay, wait, cascading meaning. Okay, so yeah, cascading means pour downwards rapidly in large quantities, pass or okay, I guess this is a better way to say it. Pass something to a succession of others, that's what cascading means. So basically what we're doing here is that we're taking a node. Now like in the previous videos I said, HTML was made of nodes. This paragraph is a node, this body is a node, this head is a node, every tag over here are nodes, tags and nodes, because those tags make themselves complete, and, and that's in HTML. But in CSS we select those nodes and we make them look different, feel different, and with JavaScript we just make them work different. So that's the thing. Now in this video I'll just show you an example of CSS, but I'm not really gonna go over too go uh, go over it for too long. I'm just gonna show you what they are. I'm just gonna show what it does. And in the next video, we'll be working in depth of CSS. So over here we have padding. Now I'm gonna show you something. Before that, you see this image. There's a white border to the left of it, and you see this text. These texts aren't positioned to the left. Neither the images nor the text are positioned to the left. They are not attached to the left side of the left or leftmost border. Let's just call say that. Okay, now the reason is there's a border, there is a padding which you cannot see. Now let me show you what I mean. Okay, here look. Now when I hover over this margin, you can see that there's a okay. As I hover over this margin, look here. Look where my cursor is. Right now it's on the left side, leftmost side. If I hover over the margin, you will see there's those white spaces turned into skin colored spaces. Okay, now the reason being is that there is a margin to it. Now if I remove the margin from it, which I'm gonna do is, yeah, so over here we have an UL tag. Oh wait, my bad. Hmm. Yeah, where were we? Okay, now over here, this is a universal selector. I won't tell you what that is. You can just go and search it up. I will tell you that in the later video. Now, I will also give you all the details in the later video. Now, let's say over here that space is gone. The space to the left, it's gone. Now, if I just delete this again and save it and refresh, let's see. See, that space is back. Now if I control Z on this one and you select it, see, even if I take my scroll bar all the way to the left, that white space is gone, and so are the white space to the left of the text is also gone. Now that's one of the few usage what that's one of the few things you can do with CSS. Now let's say I'm gonna just style these UL tags over here. So I'm just gonna type okay. Now let's go for the list. Li go. I'm gonna type in list style. Now there are multiple types of list styles over here. Now these WebKits, they're basically something that the browser only knows. It's like WebKits are used differently. Some browsers might have this WebKit or not. Some browsers might be able to work with Moz, repeating gradients like that. Some browsers might be more familiar with those. Some browsers, it's like this. Not all browsers will have WebKit gradients. Now these are style properties. Now not all browsers are gonna have all these style properties. Some browsers may have them all, or some browsers may have a few of them. It's stuff like that. Yeah, so let's go with this style. Let's type in none. Okay, yeah. Let's save this and refresh it. See those this was a list over here and the dots beside the lists are gone. Now let's type here. Okay, I'll go to lower Latin. That sounds good. That's gonna be a good experiment. Okay, it seems Latin is the same as okay. Yeah, my bad. It's same as English. So lower alpha, yeah. Lower alpha and lower Latin is the same. I wonder what lower Greek does. Yeah. Okay, lower Greek, alpha, beta, gamma. They look different as well. So, and now let's just add a background color to blue, refresh it. Now we have a blue background color. Hmm. Um, change font. Okay. Okay, so now let's work with font families and uh, let's select something monospace fantasy cursive. I'm gonna go with this. I don't even know what font that is, but let's go with that and check it out. Okay, it sure is different. So as you can see from here, the universal selector. This is the universal selector, and I will tell you what selectors those in the next video. It basically selects everything on it actually selects the most parent after a body. That's what universal selector does, the most parent after a body. You won't understand it now, but this is just an example. There's eval, li, and eval is this and if you see eval and li, these are nodes. In this HTML document, this eval is a node, this div is a node, this list title items li, they're all nodes. So we are selecting nodes and changing their appearance, or maybe I could also go with position. So let's start with okay. Now position, you also asked what that is. Now what position actually does is that, okay, let's just go with any of them. I'm gonna go with absolute. Now, okay, now what absolute does is that, so in position absolute, what it does is that, let's say we have these list items on the name under UL, okay? So we have these list items under UL, so these list items will start from where the UL was positioned first. For that might sound a bit complicated. It's more like this. This div was placed somewhere, right? So basically, this div was placed somewhere, and this UL unordered list, it was placed inside the div. Was that gonna what absolute is gonna do is that this absolute will position that list item inside in according to the UL or the unordered list, because that's its most parent element, the closest most parent element, as you can see in the document. Now this list item node is the closest to this UL node, and this UL node also happens to be its parent. So that's how it's gonna go. So let's just write top and 10 pixels. Top means 10 pixels from the top after position absolute. Save it. I'm just gonna go here, refresh it. See how you can see Washington DC right here. Now what? Now you might say that you cannot see everything. Well, that's because I select when I said LI, I literally selected all of them, and that's the reason why the most recent the most recent list item got its position but others didn't. So what to fix that, we could do one thing. We could just come to li and type a class of 1, and over here I'm gonna go and write down 1 and refresh it. Okay. Oh yeah. My bad. My bad. Okay, so this one has written Dhaka. Now, the reason why it didn't work is because these are selectors. I will also teach you about it in the next video. The thing is, selectors have different ways of selecting these nodes, right? Yeah, selectors have different ways of selecting these nodes. So they just first, you cannot always select the same node the same way as you selected some other node the same way. You cannot always select the same class or the same ID the same way you selected other classes or other IDs. Things are gonna be different from time to time, and that's why you need to learn selectors as well. Now what selectors are is for the next video, but the reason why it didn't work here in the first place is because these two nodes are distinctive. Now you see I added a class 1 over here so that I could remove it from the rest of the equation, and so that this list item will stand out different for a bit. Okay, that's why I just added a class. And when I was selecting that adding class, what happened is that um, it's not it has a class to it, and I selected the class name, but I also left a space. So what happened is that when you give a space, it means something totally different, and when you don't give a space, it means something totally different. That's the reason. Now I'm gonna go over these detailed informations in the next video, but for now let's do it. Now I say top 10 pixels, it means 10 pixels from the very top of the body. Yeah, that's how it is. Okay, so now you see that's how CSS works. Now let's also change the image over here. Let's when you are adding an image, right? Now when I'm adding an image in HTML just by writing it like this, if I had a background image, I could get a few more CSS properties than I could have for normal for a normal image. For this normal image, I won't have as many CSS as a background image. Now let's give that example as well. Div And for background image, now over here there's a div. I'm gonna add a class of A, and after that I'm just gonna go here, select the class. You probably don't understand it right now, but if I type here background image and uh, let's type URL for this property, we're gonna need URL to select the image. It's just how different. Now the reason why these sometimes these things are so different, it's because that's how they built it. They built it for they built it like this so that in different circumstances uh, some difference could be set apart or set in motion just to explain, just so that you could be more flexible and all that. That's the reason why they were built different. It's an issue of flexibility. Oh, okay, so after that, let's go background image is done. URL. Now let's say background size cover, background repeat none. So see over here we have a few more properties compared to the image tag that I had over here. And before we do that, okay, now let's just view it over. Let's just view it up. Okay, now the reason why it's not showing it's because like I said, this div, it doesn't have a width or height yet, and we're gonna have to set that over here in class A. Let's just okay, in class A, let's just select the width to 50%, and then height, let's say to for 400 pixels. Hmm. Yeah, sometimes it may overlap. I mean, this inline image may overlap with the next image. Now, let's just save it up. Let's refresh it. See, you can see it properly. There's no difference. So that's what CSS is for. Over here in our HTML file, we have a paragraph tag, a div tag, Google notes, just different contents, and we got a CSS with its own rules and whatnot, with its own rules, the way they function, the way they behave and speak to one another. CSS is just different. So you use it in a different manner just to style the nodes that this document, that the HTML document have, those different properties, and they just function. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for tuning in. This is an overview on CSS. I'm gonna be and I'm yeah. I hope you liked it and enjoyed it. Please do share and help me with the YouTube algorithm maybe. That's just too much. I'm just asking too much.